Hey everyone, if you're new here, my name is Zakia Young, your favorite suburban black girl. So I'm at the airport in New Orleans, coming back from a family wedding. And, I was like, let me get myself a little drinky drink, just to ease, ease my nerves before I get on this plane. And I'm sitting by myself at this bar, and there are tons of chairs available. Tons of chairs available. And if you know me, you can have an inkling of where this is going to go. So, mind you, I'm in New Orleans, right? I was raised by Southern parents, but I am not a Southern person. And these white folks sat down a chair over from me, and I'm minding my business, enjoying my little drink, thinking about how much fun I had at the wedding, how much I enjoyed my family, right? And then they asked me if I could move down so their friends could sit. And I said, well, I did just close out my tab, but I need about 10 more minutes. And I proceeded to sit there and sip my beverage because there were a ton of seats all around me, but they sat down next to me so they could ask me to move. Now, mind you, the guy who asked me was completely polite. He was very polite. He was like, I just didn't want to get in all your space. And I said, okay. But then I thought of how many times my grandparents had to just move because a white person asked them to move. Thought about the times my parents had to move when they lived down south because a white person had to ask them to move. And I sat there and I savored my beverage a little bit longer because I could. So, being your ancestors' wildest dream might not be becoming a billionaire, you know, although that might be in the cards. Sometimes it's just saying, I'm going to go when I'm good and ready to go. You see, they moved because they didn't have a choice, because it was illegal for them to not move, or they or their family members could have been harmed by them having the audacity to not move. So in that spirit, I just had to kind of fight the automatic people-pleasing urge to just make it easier by moving. But I said, you know what? How many years did they have to move when they didn't want to? And even though it might not seem like a big deal, for me it was. And it's not even Black History Month. I keep wanting to say Happy Black History Month, but what I will say is Happy Monday. And I channeled a little bit of Catherine Young and Fanny Birch as I sipped on my beverage. I felt like, you know what? I'm going to move when I'm good and ready to move. And I'm going to do it with a smile. And that's kind of why I like to wear makeup when I go to the airport. Because I'm like, you know what you're not going to do? Because what you're not going to do is have me be in a position of servitude when I paid the same amount for my plane ticket that you did, maybe even a little bit more. And I feel like the ancestors smiled on that one. I just do. And it made me feel very, very happy.